Welcome to the Pinning Combination Podcast, our high school edition. I'm KJ Pilcher alongside Dick Briggs, ready to discuss the landscape of Iowa high school wrestling. And of course, it's the Crown Jewel Week, state wrestling down in Des Moines. One of those fantastic events. At one time, Sports Illustrated said it was the best sporting event in the state of Iowa, the marquee event produced in Iowa when they went around to each state and highlighted one event. It was state wrestling for Iowa. I don't agree, Briggsy. It's the best.
You and I both. We love it, man. I'm trying to think of anything that's even close to it, and I got nothing. So.
And I'm going to put you to the test here with a blind five when it comes to sporting events. So keep an eye on that. We'll talk about qualifiers, team races, individual stuff coming into the state wrestling tournament. But one thing I want to mention, so yesterday I ran around doing interviews. I was at Albernet, drove to Iowa City, at Iowa City West to talk to wrestlers and coaches. I was talking to Nate Moore, his former teammate, Derek St. John, going into the Hall of Fame this year. Blake Williams, Chet Bachman are some of the area guys going into the Hall of Fame this season as well. Of course, Blake Williams from Decorah, wrestled at Wartburg, the coach at Solon and Cedar Rapids Prairie, well. Chet Bachman, the longtime coach at MFL Marmac. But the reason why I say that is guys like Derek St. John, I think going into the Iowa the Dan Gable Hall of Fame. We're getting old. I covered Derek St. John when he was a freshman in high school, and now he's going to be a Hall of Fame member in Waterloo. I'm feeling old.
Welcome to the club, buddy. You're just a pup for me.
Yeah, I know, right? I feel old, and I was you were well entrenched at Jefferson by the time I came through at Wash. So
right, and I'd already spent 3 years at Wash. So
yeah. That's right.
Loved them, yeah.
So you can get. I'll need a walker to get around Wells or the Casey Center now, not Wells Fargo anymore. So now we've gone from Vets, switched venues to Wells Fargo, which is now Casey Center. So
wait, so we went from the barn to the bank to the, what do we call them? Casey's now.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We got to come up with some clever nickname for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pump doesn't work. No.
Yeah, no. Put some thought into that one there.
Yeah, right. We'll get our creative staff on that. But a little bit of a new schedule this year. I kind of want to get your thought on this because it maybe resembles a little bit of the old 3-day tournament, but this year we just have one class on Wednesday where it's class 3A Wednesday at 4:00. That's the only session on Wednesday. And then Thursday in the morning, you've got class 1A. 2A starts at 2:30 on Thursday. And then that 2:30 session, you go from the first 2 rounds of 2A, followed by 3A quarterfinals in consolation matches. So it's just kind of stuffed together in the afternoon there, not a third session like they've had in the past. On Friday, 1A in the morning again at 9 a.m. where they do the quarterfinals. And then 2A is in the very same session. 5:00 on Friday night, you've got the semifinals and consolations for all 3 classes. So it's just jammed right in there on Friday night. Do you like that? Do you like this?
I suspect they have to do one, in this case 3A, one of the divisions on Wednesday, which makes it, I don't like that. I wouldn't like that at all. It's just a long week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 4 days. I mean, conditioning goes out. It's not a factor. You've got so much downtime. I wouldn't like that. I do like the Thursday, Friday, Saturday better, but I suspect that they had to do that because they changed the bracket. They changed the number of competitors from 16 to 24 now, and so that makes more matches. And so I imagine you couldn't squeeze that all into 3 days with all three divisions. So I'm guessing that was out of necessity. They had to go to that fourth day, and so I wouldn't like it if I'm in that group. And they rotate that all 3 years, so I'm sure next year it'll be one of the other. It'll be 1A or 2A that has that or whatever. So, yes, I like it if I'm the 3 day tournament. I don't like it if I'm the 4 day.
Now, this is really splitting hairs and probably just, anybody outside of media probably doesn't care. The condensed sessions, without it being class specific, I do not like it. Mainly because there's been such a routine. This is going to be my 24th year covering state. You have a class, and then you have a break in between where you can write that's where all the work really happens. It's after the session, when you're writing, you're getting everything assembled and then filing, stories and video and everything else after the session is complete. So you don't have to miss any of the matches. It's so hard to get wrestlers because some of the teams are centrally located and you can find them in the tunnel or what have you. Some guys get off the mat and gone. Yeah. So now we're going to have to work as the session is going because we have another class that's coming up, taking the mat right after them.
Right.
So this is going to make it a lot more difficult to cover. And maybe I'm just being a crybaby. I don't know. That's not impossible. But it's just having the 3 sessions might not seem like a big deal, but it really, for the coverage aspect, it's going to make a big difference.
Right. I never thought about that until I was accompanied you to the national tournaments, Division I national tournaments, and I knew in between sessions to leave you alone because you were grinding. You and everyone else were grinding. I mean, you're focused. You're listening to your interviews. You're trying to get everything organized and your thoughts organized and your story written, and you had a deadline to accompany. On the other hand, on the other side, we had our friend Wyatt Schultz that was with us. And I would go down, and there was like 3 different rooms full of photographers that were doing the exact same thing you were, that they needed to do, identify, whatever they did with all their photographs and such. So it's amazing what gets done, like you said, in between. And so now I totally agree with that. You have to go down and interview kids, and now you don't have time to write it, so then you have to go and do the same thing two more times with the other divisions. And now you have to go back and write your story for the 3 different divisions. That's just, to me, is incredible what you guys do, and I'm so impressed.
Well, thank you. The check is in the mail for that. I appreciate that. But and like I told Nate Moore too, we were talking about this, and it's like he's like, I never thought of that, and I'm like, well, to be fair, it probably should be the last thing you think about, right? Because it's whatever's best for the wrestlers, the programs, the fans first. And if this is what's best for them, then we'll always figure out a way to deal with it, right?
Right.
It's
you're trying to hunt down people in a big arena that's in the catacombs of that when they may be sitting up in the stands already.
Right. I've had that happen a couple times.
Yeah. So I mean, you're all over the place trying to find them, and so you're burning time and not seeing what's happening out in the arena. And anyway, it's a chore, and you guys do such a huge job.
Thank you. We'll try to keep that up this week. As we mentioned, competition begins with Class 3A at 4 o'clock on Wednesday at Casey Center in downtown Des Moines. Let's look at the classes here as far as the qualifiers go. Starting with Class 3A. I don't think anybody really questioned who was going to be the front runner. But Southeast Polk, all 14 wrestlers, all the bullets are in the chamber down there at Des Moines. They set a team record in points last year with 259.5. One, I don't think anybody touches them. Do you? And is the only thing in doubt is whether or not they can hit 260.
I don't think anyone touches them. I don't really know. I mean, on the whether they break the record again or not. It's really about the someone coming in pulling the upset on them or whatever, win the match they're not supposed to win, or that sort of thing. But Southeast Polk is clearly the front runner and the best team in any division, I think, in the state of Iowa.
They have 5 number 1 seeds, 10 in the top 8. And I know if there's any event ever where seeds do not matter and the only thing that's expected is the unexpected, that doesn't carry a lot of water, but still, it shows the potential that 10 medalists, if that all goes to seed, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's been done before. I remember my very first meet at Washington. We were not a very good team. Didn't win any meets and the very first meet was against Bettendorf, who ended up being the state champs and with 12 medalists out of 12 weights back then. That was really rough. But it's happened in the past, and they could walk away with 14 medals. That'd be something, wouldn't it?
That would be pretty impressive. And speaking of Bettendorf, for that race for second place, I think you have to include Bettendorf, Indianola, Dowling, Waukee Northwest. Are those teams that really have a chance for the other 2 trophies?
I would guess that, and I don't. Linn-Mar has 11 qualifiers, but I don't think they have enough to get to that third. Is it 3 trophies? That third place level. Iowa City West has some guns. They could. Who knows? They could squeak in there maybe, and they've got some. I think they have strong medal and maybe titleist contenders in Roberty and certainly Pierce. If he doesn't win it, I'd be surprised. So, and then the others that can, the supporting cast on their team, but those 2 are really standing out this year.
I think you hit it right on the head with Linn-Mar and Iowa City West, where I think you have the kind of the better depth and balance from Linn-Mar, but you don't have those big time point scorers like Kane Nockaborn, who not only won it, but racked up pins along the way, or a McDonough or even Tate Nockaborn. You don't have that big point scorer. Noah Hawk Irwin is the number 2 seed at 165. Barrett Miras and Philip Jacobs are seeded 4th at 75 and 90, but you just don't have that one guy that's going to go and get you 20 plus points, probably. On the other hand, Iowa City West, they do have a couple of those guys. You mentioned, Roberti and Pierce. You just don't know what you're going to get out of some of those other qualifiers, like Campbell Janis or Caden Stitt, who, unfortunately is on the same side as Deshaun Ross. Because we both really like Stitt. Could make the semis there. So you've got one team that needs the big guns. You've got the other one that has the big guns but needs the balance. But I think Iowa City West, with the way the individual tournament is set up, the way this tournament is set up, probably has the better chance to crack that top 5. But still, I think both of them are maybe in that 7 through 10 range.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I think so too.
One of the storylines, if you go to the Gazette.com, we have some of our state tournament preview stuff already up. We've got our class by class breakdown with predictions, synopsis, qualifiers by team, and some other information there about the state tournament. We also have 5 storylines to follow that are posted. We'll also have a notebook. I'll highlight really quick. One, Alex Pierce from Iowa City West, looking to become a 4-time finalist. Iowa City West has had a few with Nick Moore, who was a 4-time champ, Hunter Garvin, who's now an All-American at Stanford. He's looking to join a group like that. We'll have a little notebook leading off with Pierce, Springville with their first state qualifier ever, I believe Luke Lansing. So a little information on that. And then, of course, I have to mention Timmy Zacher from Kennedy. He was a qualifier at 190 pounds from Iowa City High. This might be the only time I've ever heard of this combination. An all-state violinist and now a state qualifier as a sophomore in wrestling. So I know you've had some choir all-staters as a state champion, Connor Herman, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever heard of the violin wrestling combo before. And we have one now with Timmy Zacher at Kennedy.
That's it. That's cool. I can't even. The only instrument I can play is a radio. That's how bad I am. Jeez.
Same here.
So that's impressive. I really like hearing that. That's neat.
So we'll have that posted at Gazette.com. Also a feature on Egan Fleshman, the top-seeded heavyweight from Alburnett. The Fleshmans, Egan, his older brother's Easton, who's a heavyweight at the University of Iowa, and I believe Emmett, his other older brother. They lost their dad, Michael, right before the season, and it's somebody that always used to take them all over. No family trips. They would use that time to take the kids to competitions across the country that they wanted to go compete at. So they would load up the car, drive, and it sounded like even though he had been battling, I think it was a muscular disease, the last few years, he would still tough it out and make it to those events. And he passed away right before the season. So I talked to Egan a little bit about kind of what it's been like dealing with that loss and adversity. And of course, he's put together a heck of a season and is the number 1 seed at heavyweight in Class 2A. And the interesting thing, the number 2 seed is Lucas Feuerbach from Solon. Fleshman beat Feuerbach in the finals of the Cliff Keen Independence Tournament. They're 1-2. Feuerbach was a finalist at 215 in last year's state tournament. 2 of them, they are practice partners at Big Game Wrestling Club. Really good friends off the mat. On the mat, 2 of the best heavyweights in Class 2A, and we'll see if they wrestle on Saturday night. But one thing I want to mention too, and the reason why I mentioned all our content was part of the five storylines is the fact that we have two people going for 4 titles this year, which is hallowed ground in the state of Iowa. Deshaun Ross at Fort Dodge, Blake Fox of Osage in Class 2A, Ross in 3A, number 1 ranked heavyweight, going to Oklahoma State, who Iowa wrestles on Sunday. 31-0 this season, 42-2 overall, and has won 139 straight matches. I know we've seen upsets. I just don't see anybody touching Deshaun Ross. He's an absolute phenomenal talent. But what do you think that really means for Ross to be able to cap his career with a 4th title?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's a specimen. He's just a big, strong wrestler that's had a fabulous high school career, and really, that's a big catch for Oklahoma State. I think, and especially in those bigger weight classes. I assume he'll be at heavyweight in college, but you don't know. But I mean, yeah, holy cow. I don't see anyone touching him at all during this tournament. Matter of fact, if someone gets to the second period with him, that's doing a lot. He's pinned or tech fault everyone that recently that I've been looking at.
Right.
That first period. So that's just how good he is. Yeah, it's no question.
And all comers. They're looking to be, so Blake Fox would be the first one actually, because he's the number 1 seed at 150 in 2A. So technically he could become the 33rd if he wins his title, and then that would make Ross the 34th 4-time state champ. The last one being Ben Keeter from 2020 to 2023 for Iowa City High. So 142-2, 139 straight victories for Ross. Can you make a guess on who the last wrestler to beat him, or who his 2 losses were to? And here's a hint: they're D1 wrestlers, and he hasn't lost since his freshman year. When he wrestled 195. So I gave you a little direction, but not much.
And then they're from an Iowa high school.
His last loss is, his first loss was not.
Okay.
I think his first loss to the guys from Wisconsin.
Oh man, shoot, no idea. Division 1 heavyweight or wrestlers right now.
Both of them are currently D1 heavyweights. I'm pretty sure both of them are heavyweights. One of them might be a 97-pounder still, but I'm pretty sure he's at heavyweight now.
Boy, I don't even have a guess, KJ.
So his first loss was at the actually both losses were at the Dan Gable Donnybrook his freshman year. So that very first weekend, he lost to Cole Mirasola, the Penn State heavyweight.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Mirasola's from West Bend West High School in Jackson, Wisconsin. So he lost to Mirasola 11-6, and then his second and his last varsity high school varsity loss was to McCray Haggerty of Waverly Shell Rock.
I was going to guess Haggerty.
Were you really?
I honestly,
go with your gut. Go with the gut.
He got hurt and wrestled his that at the state tournament. He was when they wrestled, he was hurt pretty bad, as I recall.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Ross was able to get the win there. I was going to guess that, and I thought, I don't know if they wrestled each other during the season. Oh, I should have. I'm sorry.
Yep. McCray Haggerty beat him 3-1 for third place at the Dan Gable Donnybrook. And that was Deshaun Ross's last high school loss for the Dodgers.
Yeah. But
So
is Haggerty at a Division One? That's what threw me off.
he's at Iowa State.
Is he now? I did not know that.
Okay. Yeah, he's at Iowa State, and the reason why I say I think he's at heavyweight because I think he stepped in early in the season when Bastida was hurt.
Yeah,
I think
you're right. I think so
because they're redshirting. Oh, who's Herrera? Yeah, he's listed as a heavyweight. So it's 5 on the roster at Iowa State. So yep. So Ross, he won 2 15-pound titles the last 2 years, as you mentioned, 195 as a freshman. He was 31-0 this year, 20-0 last year. Remember, he was coming back from the shoulder surgery, the injury I think he suffered during football. 47-0 as a sophomore, and then 44-2 as a freshman. Pretty impressive. Now, Blake Fox, he's 206-3 overall. He's 46-0 right now for Osage, ranked number 1 at 150 in 2A. Last year, he went 59-0 and won the 144-pound title in 1A. Remember, Osage dropped down a class, now back up to 2A. As a sophomore, he won at 138 in 2A. He went 50-1. And then as a freshman, 51-2 and won the 200 or 120-pound class in 2A. Now, like Ross, Blake Fox has only lost to one Iowa opponent. So one in-state opponent has beaten Fox in his career.
So you said he's 202 and
206-3 overall.
206-3. Okay. So he had 2 other losses to out of state.
So I'll tell you the 2 out of staters because I don't think I haven't heard of either one of them. I don't think you would get him. One is Tyson Peach from Milton, Wisconsin, at the Cliff Keen Indy Invitational. Peach beat him 6-0. So that would have been Fox's sophomore year at the Cliff Keen that first weekend. His other 2 losses, one his freshman year, he lost to Gylon Sims from Joliet Catholic Academy at the Clash midseason there his freshman year. His very first loss was to a Metro wrestler. So it was a Cedar Rapids Metro wrestler that is the only Iowa opponent to beat Blake Fox.
What year was that? In what weight?
120.
120.
And trying to do so it would have been December of 2022, the 22-23 season. And it was in December, so it was the first part of that year.
I'm going to go with Linmar at wrestler, maybe, or Prairie. Let's see.
I
don't think it was for Jeff.
And I believe he's an Iowa State guy as well. At least I think he originally was an Iowa State guy.
Early December. That was Xavier. I don't know. I need some help here too.
Blake Jaimo.
Oh yeah, Jaimo. Blake Jaimo from Prairie. Sure. Okay.
Prairie. Jaimo beat him 5-2 at the Cliff Keen Indy Invitational that year. So 2 of his 3 losses have been to Independence or at Independence at the Independence tournament. But Jaimo beat him in the semifinals there 5-2. He turned around and pinned Jaimo 2 weeks later at the Battle of Waterloo. So he avenged that really early. But that's kind of some trivia going around those guys going for a 4th title.
That's pretty neat, actually. Yeah. Boy, you tested me there. I had no idea.
I know, right? Let's switch to 1A here really quick, just because I think team wise, that's another one that's also kind of set in stone. 2A is a little more wide open, as we saw at the state duels. Well, here, let me add this really quick as far as qualifiers go. We mentioned Southeast Polk has 14, Indianola with 13, Waverly, Shell Rock, and Dowling both have 12. Johnston, Linn-Mar, North Scott, Pleasant Valley with 11, and then Ankeny, Centennial, Bondurant, Farrar with 10. As far as our area teams go, at the Gazette, Linn-Mar with 11, as we mentioned, Iowa City West with 9, Prairie, Western Dubuque with 7, Kennedy and City High with 6 apiece, Xavier, Clear Creek, Amana, and Liberty with 5 each. Marion has 2, and then Jefferson and Washington have 1 each. There in Class 1A, the top qualifiers, Don Bosco with 11. Like Southeast Polk, not only are they the favorites, but they've got the most qualifiers. Jessup and Lisbon. Jessup, who gave Don Bosco a run in the state duels. Both of those teams have 9. I think that'd be a pleasant surprise for Lisbon. 8 from Earlham, Logan, Magnolia, and Nashua Plainfield. And then Central Springs, Hinton, Lake Mills, Oakland, Riverside each have 7. Area qualifiers, we mentioned Jessup and Lisbon have 9. Then you've got Belle Plaine with 5, Cascade, Dyersville, Beckman, Northland, and South Winneshiek with 4 apiece. BGM, Regina, Iowa Valley, Sigourney, Keota with 3. HLV, Tri-County with 2, as well as MFL Marmac, Midland, Montezuma, North Tama, Postville, and Starmont. And then Central Decatur, Edco, East Buck, Lone Tree, Maquoketa Valley, and as we mentioned as well, Springville with 1. Springville's first in school history. So here,
is this their third year of competition, Springville?
Okay, so let me double check, because I had a conversation with Joe Martin, the AD at Springville, who was very, very helpful in kind of mapping out their program, because I know they had a program at one time and then they consolidated. So here's the timeline. So they started a program in 95 and 96 and stopped in 2011 and 2010, 2011. In 2004, they had a district qualifier, but nobody advanced to state. After 2011, they've shared with Central City for a time, and then Anamosa for a few years, when they had students that wanted to wrestle. So there were some years in there where they didn't have anybody that was even interested. They started again in the 22-23 season, which was Luke Lansing's first year. He's a senior and a state qualifier for the school's first. So pretty cool.
Wow, that's so cool. That's neat. Good for Luke. Yeah, man, that's neat. What a history. Thanks for sharing that. That's interesting.
Yeah, thanks to Joe Martin. Joe Martin, very, very helpful in kind of mapping that out, because I didn't know quite the specifics. I knew they shared with Central City for a while. I didn't know they shared with Anamosa when they did have some kids that went out. And know that I remember actually I called a Regis LaSalle duel for Dave Malachek. I was their PA announcer when I was in college for a duel. It was a double duel with Springville, and I can't remember the other team. So I knew they had a team back then in the mid to late 90s, but couldn't remember when they stopped having a team. And then we've talked about how they started up a couple of years ago and everything. So I'd just like to see it. Love to see it, because they have some very good athletes and some good athletic programs out there at Springville. Glad to see wrestling is starting to kind of add to it.
Right, and not to take anything away from this, but for them to get a qualifier, that's like having a state champ. For that program, that's
a big deal.
Oh, it's a huge deal. And to not finally have that first state qualifier, and that's neat. Now, hopefully, he can become a medalist because that even that just elevates it to the next level. And so that's really cool. I mean, so kudos to the coaches, the coaching staff, two, the parental support, the administration, and of course the wrestlers. That's really neat. That's a great story. I love hearing it.
So, Don Bosco, like Southeast Polk, they set a scoring record last year with 225 and a half. They've got 11 wrestlers. I think 7 are seated in the top 2 of their weight class. They've got 5 number ones. Ty Martin at 106, Caden Belinsky at 113, Hayden Schwab at 126, Dawson Youngblood at 144, and Kyler Salas at 215. Is there, Jessup gave them a run for their money in duels. I just don't see anybody challenging Don Bosco in the individual tournament either.
Right, and we were talking about Southeast Polk maybe breaking the record, but Don Bosco could, because I don't know if 1A is this competitive throughout, like 3A is competitive there. So so maybe they both will. I don't know, but so I would say that we had said this before: Don Bosco, Jessup, and then maybe the rest, because Jessup has 8, in my opinion, has 8 contenders for medals. I mean, they're a strong team, and Heinz Cooper 51-1. So that's a very good threat for a title there. And then you've got I think did you mention both Schwabs? One of the Schwabs. This is an interesting story with the bracket. So Schwab Hendricks, I believe, is seated second.
Right.
Whereas a wrestler that has beaten him twice this year and even majored him, if I remember right, is seated 7th. So they would meet in the quarters. So that's
Aiden Bergman from Jessup.
That we've talked about. Yeah, Bergman, of course, who got hurt last year, was not able to compete in the state tournament, and that hurt him this year because I think that's part of the criteria that they put into track wrestling or whatever, however they do the seeding.
Right.
And maybe it's done with people, but I'm so a little removed from it, so I don't remember or know.
Yeah, it's the past state finishes is something that factors into the point system.
Right, and so I mean that's a huge factor for Bergman and again Keaton Muller that we'll talk about a little bit maybe. And so that could maybe, because Hendrik Schwab could be Bergman, and be another state champion for him to help him get past that 220, whatever it is and a half.
Right. Yeah. And they've got other guys too. Christopher in the middleweights there. He's the number 2 seed that could win it all. They have the makings of possibly having 7 champs.
Right.
It's not out of the question. It's crazy. But Jessup, here's the interesting thing. Jessup hasn't had a trophy since the year I was born.
Wow, really?
That was the last time they finished in the top 3. They finished 3rd that year, 1974, I believe. The last time they finished 2nd, and the only other time that they won a team trophy, 1961.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember what the classes were back then?
There was big schools and small schools. Let's see, it was, or was it even 1 back then? Let's see.
No, it was 2.
It was 2. You're asking me what they were called?
Yeah.
Not 1A and 2A. It was called.
No.
Oh man, let's see, what was it called? I forget now. It's so far removed.
It was Class A and Class B.
Oh, A and B.
All the way back to before they had A and AA.
I did not know that.
A and B. Jessup finished second in 1961 with 37 points. Britt won it with 49 that year. Then in 74, they finished third in double A. Back then it was triple A, double A, and A. That's more your time.
Yep.
And Jessup finished third behind Eagle Grove, Britt in double A. And of course, we all know who won the triple A team title that year, right?
Yeah, I think I've heard of that school.
Yeah. Maybe some Columbia blue dressed in that. Good old Jayhawks. Oh, hey, a coincidence. Jessup Jayhawks, Jefferson Jayhawks.
That's right.
There we go. So I think no matter what, it's still going to be a pretty banner year for Jessup. I think they're poised for a big run. Like you mentioned, seven or eight guys projected to possibly make the award stand for them. And then it's probably wide open for the third spot, where you've got teams like Woodbury Central, Westwood Sloan, Hinton. Who knows? Lisbon's got 9 guys. Maybe they can get have a good run and put some guys on the award stand and get a lot of points. I think it'll be kind of wide open after those top 2.
Yeah, with Lisbon, I'd like to think they're a top 10 team. Can they be a top 5 team? I don't know. And Lisbon's been there. Those kids have been there. They've seen that sort of program. The Jessup kids have not. So sometimes when you've got kids that haven't been there or programs that haven't had kids there, but you come into the state tournament and you're so in awe of the building and everything around you that you stub your toe and stumble a little bit. So hopefully that doesn't happen with Jessup, but you just never know.
Yep. And 1A starts Thursday morning at 9 a.m. One last note from 1A, you mentioned Keaton Moeller. Finished third as a freshman, won a state title as a sophomore, suffered a knee injury early in the football season, his junior year, that not only canceled out the rest of his football season, but also caused him to miss his junior year in wrestling. He's been back this year. Same with Aiden Bergman. You mentioned it. Suffered a injury at the state dual tournament, and then he's back now. He wasn't able to compete in the postseason last year, but both of them are back now. Bergman, you mentioned the 7 seed at 126. Moeller, the number 5 seed, which is insane. That's one of the biggest head scratchers. He's 39-0 this year. He's dominated. I think he's had bonus points in just about every match. 39-0, returning state champ, even though it was 2 years ago. He's the number 5 seed. But both of those two missed the state tournament last year and back this season as a senior, looking to cap things off as a 3-time state medalist.
Right, and the thing that's even makes you wonder even more, the number 1 seed has 2 losses. The number 4 seed that he would have in the quarterfinals has been out a lot of the season, is 13-1. So 17-1, but 4 of those are forfeits. And then the number 3 seed has 2 losses. And so here's this undefeated wrestler that's a former state champ, that's the 5th seed, and he's got guys ahead of him that, including the number 1 seed. So you know what? That top half of the bracket that he's in, I wouldn't want to be the number 1 or the number 4 seed.
Right. So, right. That's where, when you're looking at the number 1 seed and you're like, hey, that's awesome. And then when you see how the rest of them fall out, it's like, really?
Yeah.
That's the worst time to get the number 1 seed. But you never know. I mean, it's got to play out. But
yeah.
Let's switch to 2A. This one promises to be kind of like the state duels, where it could be pretty wide open. and it's been like that in 2A for most years. You've got Decorah and Eddyville Blakesburg Fremont, who wrestled in the state dual finals. Both of them qualify 11. Clarion Goldfield Dows, Independence right behind at 10. Then you've got 9 from Algona, Sergeant Bluff Luton, West Delaware, and Wilton, who's up from 1A. Alburnett, who's also up from 1A, has 8, as well as Atlantic, Esterville, Lincoln Central, Humboldt, and West Liberty in that mix too, with 8 qualifiers, which is big for them. Burlington, Notre Dame, Davenport Assumption, Glenwood, Osage, Solon, Williamsburg, and Woodward Granger all have 7 apiece. As far as the other area teams with qualifiers, Union Community has 6, Washington, Iowa 5, Anamosa, Mount Vernon, North Fayette Valley, Tipton, and West Branch with 4 each. Benton Community, Centerpoint, Urbana, Vinton, Shellsburg with 3, and then 1 from Maquoketa, Monticello, South Tama, and Waukon there. But this one, you know, I know it could go a lot of different ways. I just like Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont. I've loved watching them wrestle at times throughout this year at Indy and Mount Vernon state duels. I really like how they wrestle. I think they wrestle a lot like their coach, Dimitri Boyer, did when he was in high school and when he was at Co. They're exciting, and I think they've got to be the front runners with Decorah right there behind them.
Yeah, and with Decorah, I don't see really any title threats on their team, but they're so balanced. They've got a lot of. I mean, I could be wrong there. I hope but they've got. I think they've got a lot that can certainly medal, and that'll have to carry them with have lots of medals. I also see that in Independence and West Delaware. They've got a lot of. Both teams have a lot of potential medalists. Not really, maybe too many title threats. West Delaware does have Liam Weber, who's 29-2 on the season. And then Independence has Carey, Adam, the freshman, that's 50-3 on the season, and Braden Bieber at 90. It's 45-5. So those could be title threats, but so it's going to be fun with our area teams as well. And then Wilton is loaded as well, with their strong group there.
Right.
So I just think, and Alburnett we talked about. So it's just because of that, you got so much. 2A is going to be fun because some of those title or medal contenders are going to get beat because there's so many of them.
Right.
It just depends on where the numbers fall.
So I want to get your opinion. I'm going to read the seeds for a team, and let me know how you think these two compare. Okay. So Team A has a 3, 23, 13, 7, a 9, 7, 10, 13, and then a third, a fifth, and a third. Okay.
Okay.
The next one has a 6, a 3, 2, 1, 8, 1, a 5, then a 22, a 13, and a 17.
And your question is?
Which team do you think is in better shape?
Well, I go with Team B.
Team B?
Yeah. Yep.
That's Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont. Those are the seeds for the Rockets. Now, how about this one? And I think I know the answer too. Here's another one I'm going to throw in. 7, 8, 4, 4, 15, 19, 6, 16, 5, and 11. Still like Team B? I feel like an optometrist. You like Team A or Team B?
So I'm calling this Team C. Is that all right?
Yep.
The new one.
How do you like them compared to the other two?
I'm going Team C slightly.
Really? That is
Yeah.
Clarion Goldfield Dows. Clarion Goldfield Dows, who I think actually beat Eddyville Blacksburg Fremont at the Independence tournament, and is another huge factor. They've got 10 guys, and they don't have that, that 20 something seed. They're right there. They're going to be right there in the mix because some of those 4s and 5s are guys that have finished really high before. So
I could be off on that. Team A has a few 3s. So, yeah.
But I think it's going to be really fun. Then you throw in, Wilton and Alburnett. Wilton has a top seed in Mason Shirk. Then Gatlin Rogers is the number 2 seed. They've got a couple 3 seeds, and then the rest are double digits. And then Alburnett, we talked about Egan Fleshman, the number 1 seed. Then you've got a 3 seed in Owen Henriksen. I think Atlee DeWitt and Tyler Gerhold are 4 seeds, and then 4 double-digit seeds. So you've got five really good teams that certainly in the trophy hunt, and you mentioned some of the others that certainly could put up a lot of points with the number of qualifiers they have.
Right. And I assume Team A is Decorah. Right?
Yes. Yep.
And I agree with you on Wilton. They've got, Liam Adelfinger is one of those, I think, 3rd seed maybe that's a defending, or not defending, a former champion.
Former champ.
Yeah. So, I mean, so that Wilton could have a good tournament and really jump some teams that have beaten them maybe throughout the year.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting to see a couple of these teams. Eddyville, Blacksburg, Fremont isn't that far away from being a 1A school. You've got Wilton and Alburnett in their first year bumping up to, for at least for a long time from 1A to 2A. They've really handled the transition just fine. And you've got teams like Burlington Notre Dame. Didn't they win it or make a run with like 4 or 5 guys before?
Right.
And they've got, you've got Dietzenbach, who's an undefeated guy at 113 that could win it. You never know. They could factor in as well.
Right. I think Burlington Notre Dame, wasn't that CJ Walrath era that who's now wrestling for you and I? That era that I think they won it. Yep.
And then a couple things that stand out as far as some of the storylines. Again, you can read this at thegazette.com. We talked about this after the state duels. Remember that 130-pound matchup that produced 49 points in 5.5 minutes in the finals between Decorah's Will Larson and Eddyville Blacksburg, Fremont's Caden Kirkpatrick.
Yep.
They could meet in the second round.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
Kirkpatrick is the number 8 seed at 138. Larson is the number 9 seed, and I believe he has Kyler Tendall from Sergeant Bluff Luton in the first round. So on Thursday, when the 2A teams get to scrapping, that could be a second. If Larson wins his first round match, you could see a rematch of those two. I don't think they're going to score 49 points in 5.5 minutes, but maybe they'll score 55. Who knows? But it was one entertaining match.
I wrote this note and didn't mention it, but in districts in the Prairie District, Loudon Bloxham, who lost in the finals 21-15. That's 190 pounders going at it there.
Oh wow!
So there's 36 points right there. He lost to Esparza from Norwalk, and then Medical forfeited the second and third place man. So he's a 3rd seed at state now. But so I don't know if I know he didn't wrestle at conference. Some little thing was dinged up, so hopefully that's all it is. But I thought that was interesting. 36 points there with 190 pounds.
Yeah, especially from big guys like that.
They were going at it. So anyway.
Do you have any other things that stood out from the qualifiers?
I'd like to think that for Prairie, Chase Watkinson is a title contender. Don't you think at 120?
Yes. He's
So
number 2 seed there.
Right. 29-1 on the season. So, I mean, that kind of sticks out there. Let's see. I like for Belle Plaine. I like seeing that they have five qualifiers. That's a program that was really almost on extinction a few years ago.
Right.
And now they've really built that back up. Done a nice job there. And Aiden Tim 35-2 on the season, number 2 seed. So that's neat to see there.
Oh, for sure. For sure. The Sincott's part of that group as well.
Right.
Really, a really good group. Hey, before I forget, I want to run this by you. We talked about the blind fives.
Oh, boy.
I want to throw this at you before we kind of have some parting words from the state. So we talked about this at the beginning of the podcast. State wrestling has been Sports Illustrated when they did their 50 states and 50 events for the marquee event in each state chose the state wrestling tournament. That would have been back in the early 2000s when that was when they published that. So here am I rank these 5 sporting events 1 through 5 as they pertain to you. Okay.
Now, is this, maybe I don't get to ask this, but the state wrestling meet is not included in these 5, right? These are 5 different ones, maybe, or maybe not. Or maybe I shouldn't be able to ask that.
You can't ask that.
I can't ask it? Okay.
You can't ask that. All right. You know what? Here, we'll exclude state wrestling because we'll just use that as a no-brainer. And I just switch one out really quick.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So number 1, the first one, not number 1, whatever you want to put it, Super Bowl. Since we just seen that, where does the Super Bowl rank as far as your?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
For me, it's number 5.
Okay.
I don't follow professional football at all, other than if there's some Iowa connection, like Kurt Warner, whose stepdad was my assistant coach, and so I followed that then, and then I'm following the Niners just a little bit with the Iowa connections there.
George Kittle and Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 2, I know this would be a good one for your buddy Gordy Nordgren, our friend, but the World Series.
I love baseball. What are the other ones? I'm going 2.
2? All right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm really interested to see where you're going to put this one. Okay.
Oh, no. I should have put
No, just because I know there's some connection with the sport, more of a personal connection, not quite at this level, but where do you throw the World Cup for soccer?
I don't watch the World Cup. I like soccer and I'll watch soccer, but I don't follow the World Cup at all. So
I know you coached youth soccer a little bit.
Right. Yep. And I was the first Jefferson girls coach for 5 years. So
I didn't know that.
I'm going 4.
4? Okay. All right. How about March Madness? I know we're wrestling guys, but we can still like basketball.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Now, that's interesting because if there's an Iowa team involved, I'll watch it for sure. Any of the 3 schools, particularly UNI, if they've got a sharpshooter that's going to beat a Kansas team.
Yeah, Ali Prokmanesh.
I visit. So I'm out trying to sell a finals ticket. This is an interesting story. At the NCAA finals on Saturday, and I'm out trying to sell a finals ticket, and they're not selling because there's a whole bunch of them out there. And I hear some scalper go by and it goes, "UNI's beating Kansas," and I go, "What did you just say?" And he told me, and I went into the sports bar that was right there, and I missed the McDonough and who was the Iowa State wrestler finals match because I was watching
Andrew Long.
Right, and Andrew Long, and I missed that match because I'm watching Dinesh, cool as a cucumber, go down and make that 3-point shot to ice the game, and there was a bunch of other UNI people in there as well watching it, so that was kind of fun. Cool. So I'm going to go with 1 or 3. Let's see. I can't be 1, so I got to go 3.
Okay. So this one I switched out. I had state wrestling originally, but knew that it would be a given. This is along the same lines. The NCAA wrestling championships.
Oh, that's a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
Ooh, I'm good with that. That worked out all right.
Yeah, you know what? I think I would actually have the same. I think I would have the same list. I might switch World Cup and March Madness a little bit, but I think actually I may have had the same list you did.
Yeah, I'm good with it. Worked out well. But it would have been different if you'd had the NCAA wrestling and the state wrestling tournament.
Yeah, I should have thought it. I should have had that. Then I should have thrown. I should have just made it all wrestling events. Actually, now that I think about it,
pretty cool. Actually, very fun.
That was cool. All right. One other thing I want to point out here too in the Class 2A field. 106 pounds, very heavy local flavor. The top 4 seeds, all Gazette area wrestlers. Jackson Parmater at Vinton Schellsburg is the number 1 seed. Anderson Osgood of Solon is the number 2. Edison Fullhart of Decorah, the number 3 seed. And then Albernette's Tyler Gerhold, the 4th seed. Parmater, the only one with state experience. Him and Osgood are sophomores. The other 2 are freshmen. So Fullhart, Gerhold, their first year. Osgood finished 4th at districts last year. Very undersized 106 pounder a year ago. Finally full size. Now the number 2 seed. Parmater and Osgood have wrestled 3 times this year. Parmater won 19-1 in the duel. Then Osgood pulled within a major the second time, 9-1 in the finals of the Solon Ed Haydenfeld tournament. And then Osgood won 3-1 in the finals of the Walmack tournament at Marion High School at the end of January. If they face each other again, it'll be in the finals. Both of them have to get there first. Osgood has wrestled both Gerhold and Fullhart and won both. Had a technical fall over Gerhold at the Indy Invitational the first weekend of the season, and then beat Fullhart 14-6 by major at Anamosa's Denny Christensen tournament. So heavy local flavor there. Osgood 3-2 against the field. Parmater 2-1 against Osgood. So
close the gap on that. The 2 wrestlers that you're talking about, 19-1 in the very first match and 3-1 in the last. So
yeah,
I remember back in the 70s. I can't even tell you the wrestlers now, but one wrestler from Jefferson had lost, I think, 5 times to the same guy, and then got to state and beat him for the state title or something, if I remember right. So crazy. You just never know.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot here very quickly before we close up shop. Give me your top 3 teams in 3A.
Oh boy, you are putting me on the spot. Well,
and 1 pick to click for an individual champ.
Well, Southeast Polk. I'm going to go Indianola. I like an Indianola team, and then whom? Oh, geez. I know who I'd like to pick, but I'm not sure they've got it to be. let's go with Joaquin Northwest, maybe. I
Okay.
guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
I have Southeast Polk, Bettendorf, and Dowling.
Yeah, Dowling probably should have been my pick there. Okay.
So, one number one guy that I already said I have Chase Watkinson winning at 120. Another one I'm going to throw in there, Andy Frankie of Muscatine at 190.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to throw that in there as non-number one guys that they're not the only ones I have, but those are two guys I've picked to win it.
I don't know this for a fact, but I think both the Prairie and Muscatine were at the Jayhawk Invitational, which would put Bloxham, who's on the same side as Frankie, if I remember right. And
yes, they are on the same side.
The same quarter. So they would wrestle in the quarters there. Maybe the semis. But anyway.
Now you just made me public enemy number one with my Prairie friends.
Yeah. Well, I just haven't. Not really, because you said you picked Chase as your guy. So.
Oh yeah, true. It balances out then. Okay,
yeah,
I'm good.
Yep. So, boy, you're catching me cold. I would have maybe picked Chase as well.
Okay.
So I'm
we can have the same picks.
Let's. You know what though? I'm going to go. So since it's different, I'm going to go with the freshman from Iowa City West.
Roberti.
Roberti, yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay, how about that?
Good. I like it. Okay, in 2A, I'll give you my top three teams first. I'll go first since you went first last time. Eddyville, Blakesburg, Fremont, Decorah, and I have Alburnett sneaking in there and getting the third place trophy.
I'd love to see that, and I think they can do it because they sure have enough. You said for 2A?
Yes.
But boy, I feel the same way with Independence in West Delaware. Though I have to say, Independence in the past has not performed, I don't think, up to what their expectations. Boy, I just so I'm gonna, as much as I want to pull one of those, or even Wilton, I'm gonna go EBF, CGD. I'm leaving Decorah out. I don't know. That might be a mistake. And then I'm going to go with Independence. After I just said that.
All right. So my individual champs, I think the non-favorites, I'm going to go with Coy Mailer at 113 for Union Community. I think he pulls the upset in the semis. And then another one that's kind of a long shot. Well, not necessarily a long shot, but because he is the number 3 seed, so you can't really call him a long shot. But I'm gonna be a homer here and go with Aiden Antonelli from Anamosa, down at 175. He's been rolling around with guys like Scranton and stuff in his career, who's had success at the state tournament. I think he gets it done for Anamosa at 175.
All right, you have to help me because I don't know what he's seated. Is Kerry? What's Kerry seated?
Who's that?
Adam Kerry from Independence. What's he seated?
Oh, he's the 5 seed. That would be a good one. I almost picked him as well.
Really? And what's Shirk seated?
1. So they would meet in the semis.
I can't. Oh, they're in the semis?
Yep.
Wow. Oh man. I'm gonna pull Shirk. I'm gonna go Shirk.
Okay. All right.
That's tough for me. I don't know.
All right. In Class 1A, who do you think the top 3 teams will be?
Oh geez.
I guess I probably should just say who you think is going to be placed.
I'm struggling with number 1 here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with the Dons, I guess.
Okay.
And then who's the number 3 team? Because I'm going Jessup as well.
Okay.
And then who? Oh man, I don't think we have anyone around in our area. I haven't really studied it that well either with the Western teams or Central teams. I'll just do a guess. Woodbury Central. I don't know.
Actually, those are my three: Bosco, Jessup, Woodbury Central.
Okay.
I saw Woodbury Central wrestle at Regina. I really like some of the guys that they have on that team, and I have them finishing third. Okay, how about one non-number one guy to win it there, a non-top seed.
Oh man,
look here.
I know who I'm going with.
Who's that?
This is Keith Muller.
Oh yeah. That's kind of. I do have him at 190. It's kind of weird to think of him as a dark horse.
Yeah, exactly. Might be the safest one yet.
The one I actually went with was at 120 with Aiden Bergman.
That'd be the other one.
This is number 7. And I say that both of them with an asterisk, knowing that they're truly not the 5th and 7th best wrestlers. But
I think Muller's just man. I got to ref him 2 years ago, and I had no idea who he was, nor do I usually know it, guys. But I'm going, who is this kid? And I went over and looked at the name. I go, I got to remember this kid. He's something. Then he went on one state.
Yeah. Great kid as well. We did a preseason feature on him coming back from his injury. You can find it at the Gazette.com as well. But yeah, phenomenal kid, phenomenal on the mat. It'll be fun to watch him down in Des Moines again.
Right, and with Bergman, I kind of stalled there because
he's got Hendricks.
Schwab.
He's got Hendrik Schwab that got to get through to even get to the finals.
Right, so
it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So, Don Bosco, Chris Ortner, Doug Schwab, the whole family, they'll have Hendricks ready to go if they meet again in the semis. So, we'll see.
Yep, it'll be fun.
All right. I will be heading down there. I'll be down there all weekend. Wednesday, the action begins. Looking forward to that. Any other parting words before we close things up on our last week of the season?
Just good luck to everyone. Wrestle tough. Don't get injured. Stay healthy.
We'll see you down at the Casey Center. For Dick Briggs, myself, thanks to our producer, Amir. He always helps us out. Briggsy, why don't you close things down, and we'll see you down in Des Moines.
Let's keep wrestling on the move.